getting to build in to one child at a Club Hope event is a very rare experience because there's usually around 80 kids and they're all crazy. They're excited to see us. Most of the times we haven't seen them in a month or so. And it's really just very rare, but very, very special when you get a kid that kind of goes to the side. Maybe he's having a bad day, and this usually shows itself in the way, in the form of a troubled kid. A kid that is having a bad day or for whatever reason is being bad, and that happened to me this past Club Hope. And the tiny little free slot that I had in between game times. And this little boy, he was really, really sad. He didn't want to go to his group during the small group time because he wanted to be with his older sister who had moved up to the older kids. And he was really sad. He was crying, and all he was saying over and over again was, "I want to be with my sister." Just over and over again. That's all he'd say. And I saw a couple people around him. They were trying to get him to go to his group, trying to push him along. But so I decided I was going to step in and just see what was going on. I've known this kid for a very long time, and we're buds, we're pals. I used to lead his group, and so this wasn't just like him. Usually he's a very, very good kid, very respectful kid, very happy kid. So I just decided I was going to step in and see what was going on. We stepped aside. We sat on a staircase right by the reception desk, and I just decided to talk to him. I asked him how his day was going, but he kept insisting that all he wanted to do was be with his sister. And so I was like, okay, this clearly is getting nowhere. So the classic question, are you hungry? Because that always seems to work with children. They're always hungry, looking for a snack. So I figured that maybe this kid will open up a little bit if I give him some Oreos. Thankfully, I saw Mrs. Courier walking by with a whole box full of little Oreo packages, which was perfect timing, really. And so I snuck over and I got him one and I brought it to him. And he laughed a little bit, started to cheer up a little bit. So, now that we were on the subject of food, I thought I'd ask him about it. Do you get to eat? Do you get to eat lunch? Do you get to eat breakfast? Do you get to eat supper? Those kind of questions, just to see kind of what his home life was like. If there was something behind the scenes that we couldn't see that was really bothering this kid. And sure enough, he said, yeah, I usually get to eat breakfast, but sometimes not always lunch and dinner, like when he goes to school. And that completely just broke my heart right there. So sure enough, I went and got him more food. But this kid was hungry. And living in America, it can be so easy to just overlook that there are actually children and families that go hungry. I was very glad that he opened up to me, but that's kind of all we talked about. I figured that was mainly, it might have been part of the issue, was that he was hungry. So once I got him more food, he started to open up a little bit, but still not a whole lot. So he finally asked me for a pen. I was like, okay. So I went and got him a pen, and he wanted to draw on my arm. Kids are classic for wanting to draw on your arm, so just be careful with permanent markers. As soon as he got the pen, he took my arm, he's holding my arm, and he writes in big letters all the way across, "I love you." And that just completely blew me away. What this kid got out of that was that he had a friend in me. I can guarantee you that I love this kid too. He's a great kid. And maybe he just needed a friend. That's kind of what I wanted to challenge you guys with. Maybe there's someone that that needs someone to listen. Someone take them aside and bring them a couple cookies and just listen to them, to be a friend, to show them genuinely God's love. It's not always about being on the schedule and always preaching to masses of people. That's all well and good, and there's a time and a place for that, but don't miss the times that God has for you to take time for one, to build into one person. Because, for me anyways, if that's God's one job for me, is just to build into this one boy for that whole Club Hope, or for that whole week or the whole month, if that's what God wants me to do that month, then that's awesome. I'm privileged to be able to have the opportunity to reach into this boy's life and to give him some hope. Because that's what Hope for Kids is all about. Building relationships, eating cookies, and mostly sharing God's love.